to our sermon now, which will be recorded. And it is titled, When I Am Weak, Then I Am Strong. So please, let's welcome up Mrs. Taeko Duckworth.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
By the way, my name is Taeko, not the Taeko, that's the E, not I. Sorry. But another Taeko is here and like this again. She's this. Anyway, thank you so much for introducing me. I don't know you know me. Well, that's really pleasure introduced by such a fresh, young 20-year-old second gen. My age is more than triple up his age. So you may wonder why I'm standing in front of you here today. I could see that even some of you may not even know me. And this is the first time for me to speak at this podium since I gave my opening remarks to the audience of the Young Women's Speech Contest, sponsored by the Women's Federation in October 2019. That was nearly 2.5 years ago. After that event, my health rapidly declined. And in January, the very next year, I had an emergency operation to remove cancer from my large intestine. So taking this opportunity, I would like to say thank you to all those who have prayed for me to undergo the operation safely. In particular, I would like to say, because I had no chance to say it to his face, express my deepest gratitude to my husband, sitting here, who has been always with me and supported me, and also to my daughter, Angie, who has been living in Shanghai, China for several years now, but flew to London as soon as I became very ill and stayed with me during my hospitalization. And also to her husband, Kiro, who offered a 71st for my sake, which he started on the day Angie left for the UK and completed at the midnight when I finished my many-hour-long operation. Curiously, several months later, William Haynes had the same trouble. And actually then he underwent an operation overseen by the same surgeon who did mine at the Watford General Hospital. And so did Mr. Hayashi in the following year. Of course, both of them not here today, but actually I want to tell them, both are most welcome to join my club. So concerning the same experiences where we went through, Mr. Hayashi and I have talked to each other, and he wanted me to share that experience publicly with others. And so suggested the idea to his pastor, AJ, so he accepted. That's why the reason why I'm standing here in front of you today. However, as this is a sermon at the Sunday service, I decided to make it a sermon-like format with the title, you see that, When I Am Weak, Then I Am Strong. This is part of the very well-known St. Paul's confession in the 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 10. When Paul asked God 3 times to get rid of the weakness, described as Satan's thorn from his body, God answered to him, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This was then guided Paul to come to this paradoxical conclusion: when I am weak, then I am strong. As a matter of fact, actually, this sentence is not paradox. If we add the word, thanks to God, before I'm strong, actually, this becomes very straightforward. In the midst of suffering, if you feel you're weak, just to turn around and open up your heart, then you are able to notice the true strength that is there inside yourself. That strength has been given already by God. I am the someone who has experienced this too. After my first operation, where the cancerous growth was removed from my large intestine, the surgeon cut the end of my small intestine and pulled it out through the surface of my skin near the navel. This is called a stoma, and it allows any food that has been eaten and digested to come out of the body from there. So in order to collect these waste materials from the end of the small intestines, a stomach bag is attached. So instead of going to the toilet in a normal way, one of my daily activities was to empty that stomach bag and change it regularly. Then after 1 year and 4 months passed, I had another operation called reverse operation, in which the small and large intestines were connected again and the stomach was sealed. That second operation was conducted in May last year. Since then, I have been under the care of a nurse, waiting for the stomach hole to naturally close up. In these more than 2 years, since my first operation, while taking care of my stomach, I have been feeling really blessed by God, and I felt God so close to me. While I was changing the stomach bag, I saw my body's waste materials. Sorry to say these kind of things. In the beginning, I didn't like it. Then gradually, I started to realize that this is what remained of the things that had been given the nutrition to my whole body. And I remember that originally, they have been such colorful vegetables and fruits, beautiful and tasty food. If I enjoyed eating them and I felt grateful to them, then why shouldn't I appreciate them after they became a smelly substance? So they are the same food, but just changed in form and in content. Once I realized this truth, I started like taking care of my body and felt nothing dirty about my waste. I realized that through this experience, creation is never fallen. They all have reached their own perfection. But it is just that they have never been appreciated by us properly, we humanity, who fell and lost the original position of the owner of creation. Nevertheless, creation has kept giving us their goodness and continue to show their creator's love. Not only was it food or the natural environment which showed me their unfolded natures and beauty, but an animal too. I had a tabby cat who became very old. She had her regular checkup with vet in same October 2019, and that time she was well and healthy. And yet, as I became ill, she started becoming ill as well. For quite a while, I couldn't notice it, but she also had a cancer growing inside her organs. But she was always beside me and comforted me. Like when I was groaning with pain, she came to lick my hand and show her sympathy, even though she herself must have been in pain too. When I look back at those days, I really feel regretting because how self-centered I was. I didn't pay any attention to her weight loss and the change in behavior during those days, as I was occupied with my own troubles. By the time our family clearly recognized that she was ill, it was about 2 weeks after I was discharged from the hospital and had come back home. At this point, she vomited blood and it was too late to treat her through any medical means. We had to have her sleep by the bed, so she passed away. But I strongly believe that she died instead of me, in an act to return love and care to me. So even during this period of her death, I felt God's love abundantly surrounding me. Also throughout this period, since my first operation, I have realized that our physical body is as perfect as other creations. Because of my lack of true understanding of the human fall, I had been interpreting our body as a fallen body, sort of like evil. So that was based on my immature knowledge of the spiritual fall and the physical fall. Of course, our spirituality fell and it influenced our physical mind to conduct our body in a fallen way. And yet the physical body itself has its original function created by God and never lost it. It grows through the 3 stages of the growing period and reaches perfection in exactly the same way as any other part of creation does. However, like other creations, it also has never been properly appreciated or taken care of by us. While the spiritual side of humanity is fallen and under the control of Satan, the body itself reached perfection after a certain growing period, according to each individual's capacity. And so it functions only for the sake of good. I have felt this so clearly, and it has encouraged me to help my body to recover it. But why do you think we become ill? Because as well as some spiritual influences, our mind neither recognizes the value of our body nor uses it in a truly appropriate way. That's my conclusion. But illness is not bad. Illness is not the punishment or a tragedy. The illness is one of the chances given to us to start to recognize our value, the value of body, or even our life. At least in my case, I feel grateful to Heavenly Parent for giving me this situation in order for me to be awakened. Since I realized this, I have been doing my best to appreciate my body with saying words, literally words. I say to my body, thank you, so many times. Or you're great at talking to my body. You have been patient, or well done. Because I don't do that when people are around me, because they think I'm crazy. So I'm just secretly saying to my body, thank you, and you're great. But actually, this action helped my mind to resonate with my body. Do you follow that? So I started to realize or understand what truly the unity between mind and body means. So you can see that the title, when you're weak, you are strong. Sure, when you are ill and feel your weakness, of course, God could reveal himself in that weakness. Then you feel strong. These experiences truly opened my eyes to be able to read the meaning between the lines of the Bible or of the divine principle. In other words, I could read them from God's viewpoint, not humanity's. For example, let me cite Jesus' parables of the owner of the vineyard. It's a very famous part in the Matthew chapter 20, verse 1 to 15. There's nothing on here, so I can read for you this part, Matthew 20, 1 to 15. For the kingdom of heaven is like a householder who went early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the laborers for a denarius a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And going out about the third hour, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And to them he said, "You go into the vineyard too, and whatever is right, I will give you." So they went. Going out again about the 6th hour, and the 9th hour, he did the same. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing. And he said to them, "Why do you stand here idle all day?" They said to him, "Because no one has hired us." He said to them, "You go to the vineyard too." And when evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his steward, "Call the laborers and pay them with their wages, beginning with the last up to the first." And when those hired about the 11th hour came, each of them received a denarius. Now, when the first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also received a denarius. And on receiving it, they grumbled at the householder, saying, "These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." But he replied to one of them, "Friend, I'm doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to this last as I give it to you. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or do you begrudge my generosity?" So everyone in our church knows this part, as it is written in chapter 2 of the Divine Principle, the fall of man, to explain the archangel's feeling of lack of love from God and comparing himself to Adam. Because most Japanese members of our church, so there is no Japanese, so I can say this one because only I'm Japanese. So we don't have a background in Christianity. So we don't have a knowledge of the traditional Christian interpretation of the Bible. So we just accept this part as it is pointed out in the Divine Principle. So did I. I used to focus on the psychology of the laborers who started work at the earliest time and got the denarius after working all day long. Surely, when compared to the people who only worked for the last hour and received the denarius, it describes unfairness very well. And honestly, I didn't understand this householder's insistence on equality. It seems to me rather unfair for the laborers who work the longest hours. Nevertheless, Christians are traditionally taught that the major lesson of this parable is that God bestows his grace of salvation, that is represented by the denarius, upon all those who respond to his call, regardless of human merit. Length of time in service to God doesn't ensure someone any more blessings than sinner who turns to God in faith at the 11th hour. So during my recovery period, I happened to read this parable, and all of a sudden I felt heaven parents screaming expression of their deep love towards everyone from this description of the householder, actually, who represents God. Yes, length of the time in service and dedication to heaven parent is not counted in their heart, because the depth of their love for everyone is fundamentally equal and unconditional, even if it doesn't always appear so. So here, God insisted, I want to give to this last. I choose to give this to last, as I give to you. So everyone is given. Here is the important thing is from God's viewpoint. He wanted to give a denarius, no more than that or less than that. this is salvation or forgiveness to everyone. Whatever they offer depends on the person. Maybe this person must work all day long in order to get denarius. But somebody can work only 1 hour in order to get denarius. That depends on the person's history. This human side of situation, isn't it? But nevertheless, doesn't matter whatever the human merit is. God wants to give a denarius, salvation or forgiveness, whatever they did, whoever they are, because he wants everyone to come back to him. So actually, this nature, surprisingly, inherited by us. Don't worry about we're fallen and don't feel that way so much. But actually, we have that one as a God's gift, as a nature, even after the fall. To prove that in the past 20 years, neuroscience has developed rapidly, and it has become clear from research that front part of our brain, they call the frontal lobe, is actually not functioning properly when a person trying to criticize or judge their loved ones. Yeah, such as that loved one, such as a spouse, or children, or even pet. So neuroscientists say that actually, as an explanation, our love influences this frontal lobe. So not functioning well whenever it's criticizing your loved ones. So they explain this kind of situation or phenomena. The scientists using such an abstract term, love. Interesting, isn't it? In order to explain this scientific phenomena. But it's surprising because we know that God created us. God created our spirit side and a body as well, with only the motive of love. So our body is made of love. So love functions everything. Love is actually causing any kind of chemical things, atoms and molecules are working on electrical kind of things going on in our body, but actually it's caused by love. That's why this phenomenon scientists eventually has to explain using this term of love. Anyway, coming back to this point from this parable, we often try to measure Heavenly Parents' grace according to our merit, but they are beyond that. Their love can't be scaled by our earthly time because they are beyond our time and our space. As written in the second letter of Peter, chapter 3, verse 8. With the Lord, 1 day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. So Heavenly Parents are here with us right now. At the same time, they are somewhere else, 1,000,000 miles away. That's possible for God to be like that. So God was there when Adam and Eve were created with full of joy and happiness and hope. But God was there when they fell. He was shedding blood tears with despair and such agony. And God was there with Jacob that time, and God was there with Moses those years. God got angry with Israelites who were sliding back with faithlessness all the time. And of course, God was there with Jesus throughout his whole life until he drew his last breath. That God, being through this whole years of history of restoration, is here with us right now in this present time. While True Mother is a shining light, guiding us towards ultimate goal. God is here with us. God knows everything going on in the world, wars and conflicts going on. he knows that. Just outside of human effort, how that God can work on us towards that ultimate goal. We really have to focus on his heart, comfort his heart with offering our goodness only. No focus on some kind of evil things going on there. Because God can't relate to evil because he's only God of good. So we can also relate to God with offering only goodness, good prayer, actions, good words, to take care of each other, that sort of things. So that God, historical God, living with us and exactly living with me during this period. So this is kind of my testimony, and then I want to share that with you. In a way, I introduced the God I have met, but I believe that you can find your own God in your daily life. And sure, again, coming back to this title, whenever you face your weakness, you have to remember that you're strong already with God. Thank you very much, and may Heavenly Parent bless you all.
Thank you very much for that wonderful sermon. I think it was completely full of wisdom, and I don't even know how to summarize that. I think it's very reassuring to hear that as beings of love, we should never feel weak. We should always remember that God is with us, and that gives us strength. But I'm sure we will have a lot to unpack from that talk. So we'll have a few minutes now to reflect individually.
Please join us for the offering song. Spring song obedient. You guys. Joy, friends. Singing new songs of joy. Glory first to the garden of Eden, where joy and happiness reign. Joyfully sharing together our God, here in the garden of peace. Carry your crowns in the garden, my friends, singing new songs of joy.
Okay. Please can we welcome up Auntie Oksana to give the offering prayer.
Christian prayers. Our beloved Heavenly Parents and dear parents, thank you so much for this beautiful, peaceful morning that we have here all together. And we get here together to offer our hearts and reflections and all our victories and all our losses for the past week. And we pray for you to accept this and to give us wisdom and power and blessing to share with others for the next week and bring more joy and happiness to the people around us for the next week. And we are very grateful for all the experiences and all individual stories you are bringing through people around us, and today to Taeko-san. And we really hope that we wait no longer to find you in our life as a personal guidance, as a personal friend, a personal parent, and share with us our joys in a daily life. So we would like also to pray for the peace in the world and for the fastest resolution of the war happening now in Europe. And we pray that this moment can unite the people around the world, make them to find you and become closer to you, Heavenly Parent, and to build a world of peace and prosperity. Yes, thank you so much for everything what we have. And we would like to offer this report all together with my brothers and sisters in the name of Torah, Robert, and Oksana as a central blessed family. I choose.
Please be seated. Thank you, Auntie Oksana, for that prayer. Before we close, we have a few more announcements to make. So you may have seen as you were entering, there are some sweet treats being prepared downstairs. We do have a bake sale on behalf of YSP Moldova, who are helping Ukrainian refugees in Moldova. So the bake sale is in support of that. So please feel generous and enjoy those snacks. And we also have one more very important announcement. And so I'd like to welcome up Uncle Tae-san to share a few words.
Hello everyone. Good morning. Today is our family's last day attending Central London service. We are going back to Japan for good. Just a farewell message. But because I couldn't give a sermon last week for some reason, so I will today give you 3 messages. First, big thanks. First, second one, I want to share about in 1 minute. I want to share about my spiritual life. The third one is my mission life. I will make it brief, like 3 minutes total. First, again, thank you very much for loving our family. When I came here, I had only 2 child. The older one is Haruna. She was around 3. The second one was 7 months or something. She was not in this world yet. And we really appreciate that you guys loved us. Gave us a lot of love. Thanks to your love, our spiritual, how to say, life was fulfilled. If we are alone, we cannot really feel happiness. Thanks to all the families we have here, we could feel a lot of happiness in the UK. It was that's why we really appreciate you guys gave us a lot of love. Thank you very much. That's the first point. The second one, I just want to share. It's mainly the second one and third one is mainly for second gen, and I want you to listen carefully. I want you to do more than your parents. What about spiritual life? Try to pray more than as a second gen. Since high school, I started to have a faith, and I try to do more than my parents. My parents, my father died in South Africa as a missionary. My mom's still living in Japan, but she's really, her love for Heavenly Parents is really deep. But I was trying to follow her example, and I was trying to do more than my parents. And I owe the second gen, I want you to do more than your parents. And it's very concrete stuff. Try to come to Sunday service every weekend, literally every weekend. Even if your parent doesn't come, try to attend Sunday service every weekend. And try to make a relationship with Heavenly Parents. And also try to do the reading, fundoki, every morning. Even if your parents doesn't do occasionally, you all should do fundoki every morning. Try to make a relationship with Heavenly Parents. It's even 1 page or 3 lines is enough. Just try to do, just small stuff, small spiritual life every day. And without doing these stuff, we cannot make a relationship with Heavenly Parents. So try to do, small spiritual life every day, and hope, you all can be an ideal son and daughter of Heavenly Parents. And the third point is mission, about mission. As you know, I have 3 children, but I don't, limit what I can do in my life. Some people think that, okay, because we have a 3 child or, family, it's better to have a, have a stable life. But I don't really think in that way. Actually, I chose to go back to Japan to have find a better chance. Here in the UK, to be frank with you, my pay was really high. I was getting a lot of money from my company. But instead of just here in the UK, my life is very stable. I had a very big house, a nice car. But instead of sticking to that point, I going back to Japan, work for some different manager, and if I start talking about it, it will be wrong. So I will not talk about the details, but I giving up the life here and going back to Japan. And I want you to think in that way. You can do whatever you want, but I want you to find out what you can do for your parents. Every morning, I study. Even if I have 3 children, I wake up early and make some time to study. It doesn't mean I don't do anything about reading or entertainment, but I also make sure to invest for God's mission. Without investing, without studying, without work hard, we cannot do anything. We cannot achieve anything. So all the second gen, of course, pursuing as well, but try to make some time to study and prepare for God's mission. That's the 3 points. And thank you again for your great love for our family. God bless you all.
So I love this guy. I'm really I'm really proud of him. First of all, I want to say, really, really proud of this man. And thank you for being in our family. Yeah, of course, we're saying farewell, we're saying goodbye, but this man is on a mission. And I really feel like, you know, wherever he goes, you know, I hope he can still feel that, you know, there's a part of us with him. So just to give him a little token of that on behalf of all of our community, I want to give you a little gift. And actually, it's a picture of us.
Oh.
It's a little picture, you can see the wall. And there's Haruna right in the middle, right? This is Christmas time, and it's our community all coming together. So please take that with you. But at the bottom, there's some words from True Father, and it says, the more you love, the more your love grows. And your love does not disappear. Instead, it prospers. And I really feel that this family put a lot of love into our community. And their love is going to continue to prosper in each one of us. And like he says, as a second gen, I'm so, if I was his dad, I'd be so proud. So proud. So
Thank you.
thank you very much. All right. Shall we take a picture together just with your family? Yeah, if you come here, let's take a picture. Anyone got a camera? I've done it already. With the community. Yeah, if you guys come here. That's it. And then from here, David, that'd be great. Yeah, just with the community. Then you start some shit for you. There you go. That's it. Just you two then. Mommy and daddy in the middle. Let mommy sit down. You guys can go to the front. That's it then. Okay, mommy, that is it. Thanks, David. That is great. Okay. Can you come in a little bit? One chair. Just one chair. Forward. Sweet. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, Mum. Can you watch? Yeah. That's should have some music.
You do that at the same time, David.
What's that? With the blue and
Good.
okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hands, camera. Cut it.
Let me get the audience in. Let me get the online audience in. Here we go.
Watch the camera. Lovely. Let's do it.
In the town around the Black Sea from where you are. And this is crucial. Crucial strategic.
Thank you.
That's right. Goliath is perhaps a sign of what might happen here.
That he was our accountant in central London, and he offered that many times free of charge. Even though we tried to pay him, he returned the money. And he was also part of the Central London Committee. He was always taking notes and minutes during the meetings. It's very organized and very professional. So we are really lucky and grateful to have him. Yeah, so he's not just spiritual, but also practically he helped very much in our community and volunteered. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Yeah.
Sorry. I just wanted to say, challenge accepted on behalf of all the second generation here. I feel that Uncle Nathan is a great role model and inspiration for our second gen. He's got more drive, I feel, than any person I know. And, I can relate to what my dad and Uncle Robert just said about Uncle Jason giving to this community and, you know, not accepting any money or anything, just always wanted to give. I don't know how he's talking about receiving from this community, because I feel like he was always giving. So yeah, I just sorry for getting emotional. But yeah, I just wanted to say another big thank you to Uncle Jason for everything that you and your family have given to this community over the past year. Thank you. Sorry, I need to compose myself. We still got a service to close. Okay. Yeah, so I'd like to say another big thank you to everyone who was involved in today's sermon. So let's say another thank you to Mrs. Taeko Duckworth. I'd like to say a thank you to obviously Uncle Tae-san, Uncle Robert, Auntie Oksana, Chris at the back, the band, and Uncle David for helping to sort out the mic. So that was really important. And my dad as well for streaming. So yeah, thank you everyone who helped, and thank you everyone for turning up. Let's not forget about the cake sale. I hope you guys can, yeah, I hope that we can all enjoy that downstairs now, and that we can enjoy some fellowship with our community. Thank you, everyone.
Say bye-bye to everybody online, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You can join us for virtual cake and tea.
Lucky you.
Thank you. Oh, there's Trevor Davies. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.